This conference will now be recorded.
Share my desktop. Yes. So let us try to summarize of what we discussed. So we'll try to understand these concepts clearly, guys. Then I'll talk about some business scenarios, like how ChatGPT is going to help us in order to solve business problems. Huh? So prior to that, for every feature that is supported by ChatGPT, we are trying to talk about it with practical example independently. Yeah, like for example, we have seen. Yeah. So please go on mute, guys. If you have question, you can unmute and ask question. Yeah. So we started with the first and foremost feature, which is conversational interfaces, right? So which means user can supply the input, and based on that we can get the response. Yeah. So that's the first and foremost thing we did. So in the sense, any kind of input that user can supply. But here we don't focus on what we call is the user supplied right input at the first time or second time or third time or iterative mode or non-iterative mode or chain mode, whatever. All such things we don't take care as part of conversational interface. But for a given input, ChatGPT is going to return the corresponding response. Yeah? Any kind of input can be given. If the model is already pre-trained, you'll get the response. If not, you'll not get the response. Only that much we can get it from conversational interface, right? So now translation part, I think we've also seen that. So, but this guide doesn't support all the languages, guys. It supports only a limited speaking languages. So whatever it supports, we can just ask for it. If it if it is already pre-trained with your requested language, you'll get the response like a German, French. I think we have seen some examples, right? And Telugu, Hindi, whatever, right? So we can supply some input based on any other, let's say English, and you can ask for translation Hindi, Telugu, whatever, right? You can get it, yeah. And with respect to emotions or to capture emotions for any kind of person, so because some are sentimental, some are non-sentimental, or most of the human beings are what? Sentimental, right? So in that case, we can also what we call based on the behavior or facial expression or the kind of attitude or we can consider many factors to identify what we call the sentiment from different kinds of persons or emotions from different persons, right? So such things also can be what we call taken care as part of ChatGPT. I think we have seen examples. I'm trying to summarize. Yeah. Now this is yeah. Let us say we got a big story. So we need. It's very difficult to read complete story. We need to spend time. Yeah. Let's say we don't have time, but we need to get like what it does or what that particular story all about in few lines. So in that case, we can go with what summary. So ChatGPT can just ask, let's say big, can just give big story as input with 10-15 pages. Then you can ask this ChatGPT to summarize. It will give us summary information which you can just read in a short time. Yeah. So that's where this particular text summarization would come in, right? And next, content creation. So this is one of the primary reason why this particular what you call ChatGPT has become more popular and most widely used what you call AI modeling tool, right? So, which is let us say there is a data which is spread across multiple parts of the globe, which is kept in internet. Now the question, we need to what get most out of available internet data. So that we can get it from what? ChatGPT. So for example, based on your question, if you ask for some question, it is going to search complete internet data. Then you'll get the most probable answer, if not right answer. Remember that, yeah. And that particular answer or response, right? We can use it for posting or to write an article or to create or to get any product description, whatever. We can think many. Only some can be seen here in simple terms. For a given question or for given input, we can expect what the response from ChatGPT, provided we have to have the data available over the internet. Then only we can get it, guys. But can we use this particular generated content as input to come up with innovation? Answer is no. Partially yes, but most of the cases is no. Because if you say innovation, right, we need to know whatever is available till today. Yes or no? On top of it, we can start creating what you call some delta out of existing one. Because this guy, in the sense chat GPT or existing AI modeling tools, right? They will have some limitation with respect to till this particular date only, we can just get the data or get the response because they are already pre-trained and kept in what their own storage media, yeah, which is already pre-trained and then optimized and then memorized and distribute all that they have already taken care. Why they are so fast to get us the response for a given input? Because they are already pre-trained. If you just apply the input right from the cache or memory, you'll get the response. They are not going to make use of like what we do in normal other tools, right? Like warehousing tools or applications where we use memory, cache, disk, or whatever in transit, many ways to take care of optimization, right? But that part they have already taken care. Whoever has pulled the data from internet, and then that time itself, they have just pre-trained data kept in what? Memory. So we got large memory models that will be used by AI tools, which we don't need to care. What we need to care, we just need to understand like how well we can supply the right prompts as input to this AI tools, so that you will get closer to the 100% of accuracy. Because see, remember, we should try to supply the specific question to this particular chat GPT or any other AI tool, so that you'll get a specific response. If you try to ask generic question, right, you'll get a general response which may not get us the what you call fruits out of whatever is required, right? So answer to a specific question. So we need to go with that particular uh, uh, thing when you get into any AI. Yeah. So that's about content. Content is first and foremost thing, guys. So because if you want to write a story, write a book, write an article, write a post, or write, let's say, create some interview questions, or create what you call some topmost, let's say, proverbs or whatever, right? Anything, everything can be created in a short time by using pre-built tools because yeah, how that particular chatbot is going to what you call help us to respond automatically. Yeah. So that anyway I'm going to show practically for now. So yes, it will be used to take care of what answering questions automatically. Yeah. Not only that, guys. So even if you take, I don't know, you guys are from which background, any background. Let us say, let us take IT only. So assuming that you are working on some data warehousing tool, yeah, that's a ETL tool. ETL tool, what we do, we extract, we transform, we load. Yes or no? That's what we do, right? So now let us say we need to perform these kinds of operation daily or hourly or weekly or quarterly in a repetitive manner. That will be done by most of the customers manually. Can we cut down of doing it? That's where again ChatGPT would be the answer. One of the AI modeling tool, but we got a bunch of other tools, but this has become more popular. So that's it. That's one example from data warehousing context. Likewise, we can think of it in many other cases as well. Let's take even what you call in agriculture field, guys. In agriculture also, what farmers will do, they do what repetitive operations daily, like cultivation or intercultivation or weeding or harvesting or what I call deploying, delivery, right? Yes or no? So all such things, they are more or less repeat. No, if not daily, periodically they do it. Now, can you cut down of doing it by using GPT? Very much possible. Yeah. So, but we have to take the help from IoT also here, which is Internet of Things, where we need to interface this agriculture activities with sensors with relevant embedded devices, so that along with ChatGPT or some other AI modeling tool, so that we can also take care of those operations automatically. Remember that. So which means we have got that much intelligence by using this particular AI modeling tool. Likewise, you can think of many more examples. I'll try to give some what you call some practical scenarios for agriculture thing. I'll try to show it. I don't know, but whether that device can be integrated here or not. But yes, I'll try. But other things, there are many. We can think in IT, right? We can think many. Yeah, fine. So now the next is what analysis, guys. See, remember what is happening is in the market. So when you get the data, right? It's a large data. So people, what they do, they directly what they call get into applying their logic. Yes or no? Instead of that, what we need to do, first we need to carry out analysis. Based on the result of analysis, then start building the logic. Yes or no? So in that case, this particular data analysis by using ChatGPT is going to help us a lot. Based on that, we can predict like what to be done, what we call as part of logic. Yeah. That's why data analysis. For example, let's say, yeah, let me just give one example here. So how to identify duplicates based on what existing law. Let me try to relog, Um, So yeah, fine. Now it is cleaned. So let us see. So identify duplicate rows. Identify duplicate rows for the below data. Right. So it lasts for input. See, it lasts for question. So we have not provided data that we are going to give now. Let's say one, one. Let's say. See, sequence of numbers we give. Yeah. Now what we need to do, we can take sample data. Let's take sample data from the source and open any data, assuming that there is some duplicates here. Let us see whether it's going to identify duplicacy or not. Yeah. Yeah. Can you see, guys? See, it is using duplicated function to identify duplicate rows. So now you can just ask how many duplicates. So identify the count of duplicates. Yeah, duplicate rows. If you could able to calculate, yes, see, it is writing the code to calculate duplicate rows. See how many we have? It's a one duplicate row. One is there, right? That's it. Rest all what? Individual records. Because if you open this particular sample data, you can see one is a duplicate. See how easy to get this. And after this, that's one of the issue, right? Identify duplicate rows. Once you identify, then we can take a call like, okay, we have we have one issue which is duplicate data issue. Then how to identify such kind of duplicate records? See, it is writing a code based on what pandas model within the Python programming language. Yeah, so that's it. But we don't care which language that it uses, right? What is the end result? Or can we get duplicate rows, whatever issue that we look for? But do we have also identify null data for the above? So why we are trying to ask for above? Because see, remember this AI, right? It remembers like whatever has been what I call processed. Can you see here? See, we got a true. There is a duplicate, what I call null data. There's one more null data. True, right? That's it. See, the values 4 and 6, they're all nulls because they're representing in empty space, whatever. Doesn't matter. See here, how easy is this to identify what issues? One, we talked about duplicate issues. Second, we are trying to talk about what null issues. Clear, no? So this way, we can identify the properties to carry out analysis. Even let's say you are not sure about what are those indicative measures that will be used in order to identify the quality data. In that case, we can also ask for what? What are the quality metrics or quality dimensional metrics that will be used as a base to carry out analysis? Let's ask for it. Yeah. So, what are the quality dimensional metrics to identify the data issues? See, now it is time to respond. See, completeness, accuracy, timeliness, validity, uniqueness, precision, consolidation, integrity. See here, it has given many dimensional metrics. So, which means if you say our data is what? Quality data, we need to confirm with this particular dimensional metrics. One, accuracy, which means let us say we expect 100% of accuracy, but let us say we got one error out of let's say 10 rows, then you'll get to see what? 90% of accuracy. So that's where accuracy is going to play very key role. And next is what? Completeness. For example, source has got date field, and date field we expect not null data or some validated data. In case if it is a null, which means we can say that it's a missing. We expect valid date, but we got invalid, which is a null. That's where incomplete we can say. Though we got data and we got data future date. See, usually we don't expect the data from source systems which is future than the current. In case if we get future date, in that case also we can say it's incomplete. Likewise, we can think of several examples where completeness measure will be used to qualify the data or to identify the quality of the data. So then the consistency. Remember guys, if you get data from multiple source systems, or single source system where one column data is functionally dependent on more than one column. For instance, let's say we have got a zip code. So how the zip code formation would take place? So zip code formation would take place based on what? State or province along with the city. Yes or no? Like if you take 60036, which is, let us say, Tamil Nadu, Chennai. Let's say there is one entry which contains this, other entry which contains what? So Tamil Nadu, let's say Madurai, whatever, right? In that case, there is inconsistency. So such kind of inconsistency rows also would be identified by using what? One of the quality metrics. Likewise, we can see what? Multiple what? Metric elements to identify the quality of the data. So which means what? If you try to put the right question, then you could expect what? Right answer. Because prompt is going to play key role when it comes to what? AI modeling. Because there is a data, there's a bunch of data which is kept in the internet. We just need to know how well we could make use of it. That's where usage of this data is going to play a very key role, means prompts. If you supply the right prompt, you'll get the right response. If you don't, you'll not get it. For example, we asked for right question here, right? Quality metrics. So we got many metric elements. And earlier, we tried to identify the issues with respect to what source. So now we can also ask questions. So what are the specific, what I call, data issues? Yeah. So what are the specific data issues from one or more source systems? So because here we are trying to ask for specific data issues, from one or more source systems. See here, missing data, duplicates. I think duplicates we have already discussed. Redundancy, inaccurate entry, foreign key issues or variance or transformation errors, it's logical errors and standardized issues. See here, this way we need to ask what? Specific question. Yeah. So which means what? We don't need to remember anything here. So this memory part has been taken care by AI. So we don't need to have what you call, we don't need to memorize. Instead, we just need to build our brain in such a way that asking questions, asking the right question, asking the right specific question, so that you'll get to see the right answer. You got right. So, so this way we can identify particular issues as a result of analysis. Yeah, clear, guys. So yeah, any questions so far from anybody, guys? I think it's recording, right? Yes, it's recording. Any questions from Gayatri and Ramesh?
Good, Narasimhan, good.
Okay, fine. Okay, now, so we just talked about analysis, right? Now, the next question is what? Chatbot. integration. I think I talked about it. Let us say the kind of chatbot that we use for agriculture, which differs from, let's say, IT services or manufacturing services or pharma service, whatever. Which means because the kind of response would differ from industry to industry. That's why we need to build specific chatbots based on the domain or based on the industry. For example, we can also ask for it. Can I have the same, or can I have our own specific chatbot that can be used for agriculture? Let's start with that. Yeah. So so get me a sample chatbot code for agriculture. Yeah, right. So now we are trying to ask for what? Chatbot for agriculture purpose. See, we got it. So that's it. Which means what? It is trying to create a bot to perform basic agriculture operations. No? So we can see here. So it has written the code by using what? Python, which is Python Telegram chatbot. You know? So, or we can also say that summarize the above. Yeah? Summarize the above operations. Yeah? Above operations. Yeah? We talked about text summarization, right? Yes or no? So, yeah, can you see here? Now we can understand from this summary like what it does. Yeah. So that's it. Yeah. Now let us understand here. See this we can see we can just fine tune things like whatever the way that you want because it has a memory which we have it, but it's not in par with what humanoid, which is artificial bot. Yeah. So can you see here? It's a simple Telegram chatbot for ag related queries. Some example: we perform initialization to perform bot operations, and second, what commands that we use, and handling messages, then setting up this bot, then execution of a bot, then entry and exit, then replace tokens for authentication part, and then get it executed so that you'll get the response. That's it. Now, within this, what operations can be kept as part of aggregate? That's the next question. Likewise, we can ask questions in an iterative manner. You know, for example, let's say um, perform or extend the above code to perform what reading activities in an iterative manner, right? That's it. Yeah. So ask question. Yeah. See, now it is time to write the code to take care of weeding. See, start weeding part started, right? Now we are focusing on only weeding part. Yeah. So that's it. So which means start weeding to initiate weeding process. Once the weeding is initiated, chat will respond. This bot, this chat bot will respond to the any user input, with respect to what weeding related message. Yeah. So that's it. So this way we can build what n number of chatbots. So once you start getting into the usage of any programming language, right? I'll try to set up this language where whatever the code that has been generated by this ChatGPT will just copy and paste and supply the input to this particular program and see whether we are going to get the response based on whatever we ask for. That's going to be the next. Now we are trying to understand the concepts, yeah, practically by using ChatGPT. After that, we'll execute and see whether we are going to get the result practically or not. Yeah. So that's it. That's one of the chatbot. Let's say now write another chatbot to perform what customer interaction. Yeah. So customer interaction for IT enabled services, right? Yes or no? This is related to IT. Yeah. So it's trying to write it, right? So we don't need to think like how to write a code, all that. We just have to think what to supply as input to this. That's all we need to do. Yeah. Rest will be taken care by this chat GPT. See here, start IT services. Then whatever you ask related questions, right? It is going to respond. If you look at this particular code, let me try to copy this code. Yeah, copy this and put it in, let's say in okay. Now what happened? Didn't copy, huh? Okay, it's in the bottom. Yes, this. Yes. So in order to perform these things, guys, first we need to install this particular module. Yeah. So in our environment, then import all that. So this is initial settings. Yeah. So help all that. Then IT services. This is where our thing starts. Yeah. Like we need what? Technical support. Yes or no? To perform, let's say, a development or administration, cybersecurity, whatever. So now we can ask for questions. To do that, so we have to supply what you call input, getting the input from the user, which means they'll ask some questions, right? Cyber security questions or technical support questions or development questions, whatever. Then you'll have corresponding reply. Yeah. So we offer customers or development tailor your needs or our network administration to ensure that stability, security for network, whatever. These are the answers. Yeah. So now the questions would come from the user, you know, from what you call based on, let's say, I need service from network. Then the control will be sent to this particular block, which is administrator block. This is a message. This is the response that we are going to get it. If you ask question related to development, this reply you'll get it. If you ask question related to support, this response you'll get it. That's it. These are all what pre-built messages. If the input satisfies with one of these decision making block and corresponding response, you will get a set. If not, the control will go to else block where you can see so invalid response, invalid question, whatever. Yeah, general inquiries, right? It's a general question. You will get a general response. Yeah, that's why we should always ask for what specific question, especially in this context, cyber security, network administration, whatever. Yeah. So which means in simple terms, we build what if else decision making blocks to get the response of what we request for. So that's it, guys. So now you'll have handlers within this code. This will take care, guys. We don't need to remember this. Tool knows how to take care. We are just trying to understand here. So nothing beyond that, right? So that's it. Yeah. So this way we can also what integrate ChatGPT with bots, like whatever bot that we have built it now. Example, agriculture we discussed, right? And also we talked about IT also. Likewise, you can also ask for one more bot for what? Let us say pharma. You know? So build, yeah, specific bot, specific chat bot I'll put to perform repetitive operations in pharma industry. You got no? We're trying to ask specific question for pharma industry. Let's enter. Yes, it is done. Yeah. So now can you see here? Perform repeat up. Yes, fine. We can just look at it here. Token part, all that we know. Starting part, registration, all that. It is similar to other bots. Nothing different from that. Now we need to start getting into what specific to pharma. Yeah. So those questions. Yeah. So this particular chatbot to address specific needs and operations for pharmaceutical industry. Now you can ask question. So how do I extend the above for one specific medication? Let's take that. So that tells it remembers previous bot and then it's going to extend based on this particular specific question for medication. That's what it's going to show. See here, now we got extra code, right? So now we'll see. Yeah. Now can you see here? Let's say if the user message contains the specific medication example Medex, if it does not, chatbot provides information about Medex. You can customize information based on whatever medication based specific needs. Yeah? So we ask for medication specific. Similarly, we can also ask for extend above for extend the above code to handle what I call cancer specific uh, specific drug example, right? So, right, let us see what is it going to respond. See here, cancer X. It has just given cancer X. So that's where you will have cancer specific. Likewise, you can put n number of specific questions, and you'll get the response for all. Then we can just take that as a base. See, if the user message contains this, chatbot responds to that. Because see, there are n number of hospitals, right? Now we need, let us say, a specific hospital where they treat cancer specific what I call activities. So that also you'll get it. Get me. So get me what all the hospitals do to take care of let's say example blood cancer in let's say India example. Yeah. uh, Extend a while put here. Yeah. Extend above to get all of application with chart, right? So now we are trying to get what we call the response from the chatbot. So you don't need any operator to answer. So it itself will tell us like what all we have. See, hospitals for blood cancer. See, XYZ, ABC, whatever, right? If there is a data which is already fed and with available trained data, right? Then you'll get it. Otherwise, you'll not get it. Yeah, it is just trying to tell us, okay, so when it is invoked, we are going to get a list of hypothetical hospitals that are specialized in this particular blood cancer treatment in India. Yeah, so that's it. So likewise, whatever you ask, right, based on that, it is going to build what specific chatbot. Remember, yeah. Now let us go to the next thing. Yeah, I hope this is clear, right? Analysis part, bot part. See, these are very. Uh, it looks very simple, but when it comes to implementation, right? One, we need to understand the creating the right prompts, and second, after generation, right? So we need to get that code and execute and see the result for a given input prompt. You know, so based on the input prompt, we should get corresponding response. with the available chatbot. You know, so that is why chatbot is going to very very important thing, guys, as part of this chat GPT. You know, so now let us talk about another concept, which is going to be chatbot we discussed and customer support we discussed, content creation we discussed, and I think most of the major features are done. Now let's focus on what we call how we can start understanding this particular model associated to chatbot, which means underlying architecture of ChatGPT, like what is it going to use with respect to what processing, yes or no, which means are we going to make use of deep learning? Yeah, remember guys, usually we are going to use, there are different machine learning techniques that we have as part of data science, yes or no. Now one of them is going to be what, deep learning technique. So which will make use of what I call neural network. Yeah. So like in our brain, you'll have multiple cells. Neurons are what? Just like a cells, right? One cell will be used for thinking, like a brain. Other cell will be used for what we call eating to mouth. Some other cells will be used for hearing, like no, what I call ears, whatever. Each cell has got its own specific functionality in our brain. Similarly, in data also, like the way we process, right? Even there also, it would use what, multiple neurons, which is equal to cells. How those neurons or cells will talk to each other, right? That we are going to see. Yeah, but for that we can supply, or it supports what we call millions of parameters. That's what deep learning. One, it can take many number of parameters as input, and second, it can also take care of handling large volume of data, which means it is going to make use of LLM, which means large learning model. Remember this. Why we all need that? Because one, to carry out analysis, and result of analysis should be generated and sends it to what? Sends it as what? Response to the user. Remember that. Which means if we have more parameters or millions of parameters, then deep learning is going to help us to take care of it. Yeah, we are trying to understand like how chat GPT or GPT, which is generative pre-trained, yeah, model is going to work. Why we need to understand this? Because our license would be varied based on what type of underlying architecture that we use. If we have, let's say, our requirement where we supply more parameters, for example, let's say we are going to perform ETL operations like data warehousing operations, where we need a filtering, we need a sorting, we need aggregation, we need a group by, we need, let's say, combination of data, or we need union, we need joining, we need lookup, we need lots of other things, right? So now we can count like how many parameters that we can supply. Let's say 1 million parameters or 1 billion parameters. Based on that, we expect data has to be analyzed and applying corresponding logic. In such cases, we can think of using what? Deep learning architecture. Yeah. So ChatGPT anyway supports this particular deep learning architecture. Remember, guys. Now, another what we call brick that we use to build a model, which is what? NLP, which is natural language processing. Yeah. See, the main goal of this particular NLP would be what? For a given input, you'll get what corresponding response. It's as simple as that. Yeah. So it can take the input from the user, it can interpret, divide that input into what? Multiple parts, which we call tokens. Yeah. which means what it does tokenization. For example, if you supply 10 words as part of sentence, then it's going to divide that into what? 10 separate words. Then it is going to recognize each of them, yeah, and then you'll get what? Corresponding response. That response could also be speech to text or text to speech. If you want speech result, then we need to integrate what I call text to speech conversion. Or if we supply speech as input, then speech to text, it has to be integrated. Then you'll get what? That conversion also would take place. Yeah. But NLP, most of the cases, we use NLP based on what? User supplies the input, and based on the input, we expect what? Corresponding response. That's where we use what? NLP, right? So that's it. You know? So, but we can also take care what I call text to speech or speech to text, whatever, right? And we can tag it just like identification, like labeling we do, right? Similar to that. Yeah. Next is what? Contextual awareness. Yeah. Like a pharma context, manufacturing context, IT context, agriculture context, or some other context, banking context, or retail banking context, investment banking context, whatever, right? So we should ask context specific questions so that GPT is going to respond in accordance with that. Which means what? We should always try to stress towards what? Context specific questions so that you could get the response based on that particular context. If you try to mix up, no, then you will not get what? Accurate data. Remember, that's what I was trying to talk about many times. Specific question, especially context specific question, right? And then you'll get corresponding context specific responses. Yeah? So it can understand and respond natures of conversion and adjust its responses accordingly. Because if it's a specific context question, then answer also should be based on that. Remember, guys, there are just like whatever input that we sub, they're just like filter conditions. It is going to search complete internet data, applies a filter, and picks the right response from that available data. That's what these GPT tools are going to do. Yeah. Now, knowledge base integration. Remember, guys, we can also integrate this particular chat GPT with existing knowledge base or external data sources like we have. So you can ask question, what are the knowledge base repository that we have internet? We can ask for it. Then, or if you have your own proprietary knowledge based, for example, banking industry, right, where they don't expose their data outside. In that case, we can integrate chat GPT with their own knowledge base, with their own data, we can say. Based on that, you'll get the response for their data only. So they don't care about external data. So which means this guy has got the provision, this guy in the chat GPT has got a provision to integrate with what? External data sources to get to get their relevant information. Yeah. So we can ask question. Let us say, let us do that. So can I integrate ChatGPT with the external knowledge base repository? Yeah. We are just asking for the question. See, we got the answer. Yes, you can integrate ChatGPT with the external knowledge base repository, like user query processing, whatever. We don't care. So, which means the answer is yes here. Yeah. So now we can ask question. What are the what are all the supported knowledge based repositories? Yeah. We are trying to extend the previous question. Yeah. So first we asked yes or no. Now we're asking for what are all the things we can integrate. See, relational. NoSQL databases, graph-based databases, document stores, graphs, search engines, file-based repositories, cloud-based solutions. See here, NLP models also, knowledge-based platforms. We can also see here, GitHub is one of the repository, right? MediaWiki, that's also one more, and Wiki also one more. JSON, see file-based repositories. The data is part of JSON files or CSV for XML files. Yes or no? Or cloud-based repositories, AWS or Google Cloud or Azure, whatever, right? And then we have, which means what? We can integrate with a specific repository and ask questions based on that particular repository. Yeah, and search engines also. Apache Solar or Elasticsearch, APIs or web service, REST or RESTful APIs, RESTless APIs, and also graphs, Google Knowledge Graph, whatever, document stores, MongoDB, Elasticsearch, Graph Database, Neo4, whatever. So, which means what? We can integrate with any other third party repository. Now we can ask question: can I get a code? Write a code to integrate with what? Relational databases repository. Now let us do that. Write a code to integrate with a relational databases repository. Yes. Now we are asking for one of the repository. Yeah. Like how to integrate with the relational databases and see how to obtain the responses based on the integrated repository. Yeah. So that's it. You see your database. We just have to specify what I call authentication and authorization stuff. Yeah. So rest will be taken care by this particular code. Can you see here? Once you define data source details, actual database connection details, right? Then it is going to execute the query. Can you see query here? It is generated query from appropriate table, whatever. Then you'll get the response here. Yeah. So user input, then it is going to query based on that. Then you'll get a response. So based using what? Bot. So this way, for a given input, we can get the corresponding response, yeah, specific to any question. Here we ask for question with the relational database, which is in turn using what format, because we asked one question based on format in earlier prompts. Remember how is it remembering? Which means there is a chain of understanding the sequence of questions that we raise to AI tool. Remember that, right? So extend on the above code specific to what let's say um, manufacturing. We can change it. Yeah. So if you want to change, we could always get it changed. Yeah. Yes. See here now. Earlier it was driven from some other industry. Now it is driven from what? Manufacturing industry. That's it. Yeah. So industry could be anything, but the question should be specific to that particular industry. That's it. Yeah. So this way we can integrate with the external knowledge base like a GitHub or relational database or pharma or bank or a cloud, whatever. You can just get it integrated. And another bullet point here you can see, which is specific to what I call cloud. Meaning what? So far, we are trying to emphasize towards what? Local usage of this particular chat GPT in our local environment. Now the question, can we get it deployed in cloud? Like for example, Azure, Amazon, Google, Salesforce, or any other third party open source cloud. Can we integrate? Answer is yes. Then once you integrate, right, we can use it for extending one with respect to available hardware, and second with respect to what even software also. So which means what, in cloud mainly we use what available resources based on pay per use model, right? So that's where AI modeling tools could also be embedded as part of what cloud, so that we can avail the rich capabilities from the cloud, and also enhancements or enrichments from what AI modeling tools like a ChatGPT, right? So that's it about like how or what kind of inputs that we would supply in order to build a model, right? So that's it, which means within itself we can take care of getting the answers with hundreds of thousands of millions of parameters, or else if you have very low volume of data where for a given input we expect, let us say, corresponding response. In such cases we can also use NLP based approach, and then contextual awareness, in the sense, yes, if we try to give some or ask for some question which is not specific to any context, then in that case it is going to provide us the general answer which is not going to serve our purpose. That's why we should make sure that we should ask AI context specific. Then, based on that particular context, we are going to get the appropriate response. Then, integration with third party knowledge base. Yeah. So, those knowledge based repositories could be within or it could be outside. For example, let's say we are in IBM company where we need to confine to this particular IBM repository. That's an inbuilt, where within or in-house repository. On top of that, if IBM has got collaboration with Salesforce, then we can also integrate IBM repository with Salesforce repository. That way, we can go with what external knowledge base along with what inbuilt knowledge base, both. Remember. Then we've also talked about like how to avail the capabilities from the cloud, and also even not only cloud, guys, we can also take non-cloud environments where they would have their own specific capabilities. For example, we got many financial products where they do their own specific activities, right? In such case also we can integrate non-cloud, or we can also use non-cloud infrastructure to avail like whatever they have built it. Yeah. So that's it, guys, about what I call bricks that we use to build any model, especially in ChatGPT. Yeah. Now we know inputs that are required to build a model. We also know what all the features that are supported by ChatGPT. Now we will talk about what is underlying architecture and what are the layers we have, how they talk to each other, so that we'll get the response of what we request for. That will be discussed in the next session. Fine. So, questions? Yeah. So, yeah, fine. And you can just play the recording and prepare some any questions. We can discuss even tomorrow also. Fine. Okay, Ramesh and Gayatri.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, fine. Thanks to all guys and bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.